Apex Legends Season 5 is here, and oh my god, is there so much content in this. This is insane how big this update is. Now, I know we're accustomed to having big updates at the start of the seasons, but this is probably the biggest update I think they've ever had, period. New legend, massive map changes, weapon balancing changes, and just a ton of character changes. So many changes inside of it that I think are very good. Some a little bit questionable, but we're going to cover all of these changes from start to finish, the big to the small, and possibly some massive meta changes that kind of happened with this patch. So we're just going to hop in and get started. Obviously, with a new season brings a new legend. This season's legend is Lobha. If you're up to date with your lore, you know that Lobha is a thief, and she has very thief-related abilities, from seeing loot through walls, and her ultimate even just taking loot from the surrounding area. She's a very good legend. Her tactical ability, the jump drive bracelet, being able to teleport by throwing her bracelet, is a fantastic ability. I had so much fun learning this. I had so much fun using it. It's incredible at closing distances between enemies. It's very good for disengaging, getting a flank. So much utility out of this ability. I really enjoyed it a lot. I'm not going to speak too much about Lobha. There's probably going to be another video about her pretty soon. The update to King's Canyon is definitely the second most noticeable update that happened at the start of Season 5. The map almost feels like a new map sometimes. There's the massive update to Skulltown, Thunderdome just being wiped out, the whole northeast side of the map being completely different, and then just various spots throughout the map that you wouldn't think would have been changed, but you realize like, wow, I've never seen this spot. This building combination is a little bit different here. My sons aren't on the map anymore. It's kind of sad actually to not see them there. I miss them sometimes, you know? I think these map changes are fun. The new locations are really cool. And while no one is really asking for the alt charges, I think it adds a pretty cool mechanic to the game, a new layer of strategy that me and my team were trying to utilize at the start of matches that just get instant alts. Pretty cool with Lobha's ability, actually. I grabbed it.
What about me?
I don't know, figure it out.
There might be one outside of this blue circle.
There are a ton of character changes happening in this patch, some very small and some are massive. We'll start with the small legend changes first.
One down.
Bloodhound got another buff. Bloodhound is actually a really overlooked character. Bloodhound's tactical ability, the Eye of the Allfather, is so good, and they just made it better. When using his Eye of the Allfather, his tactical ability, he sends out a scan that scans the enemies. And that duration just got increased from 3 seconds to 4 seconds, so the scan lasts a second longer, and the cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds. So now you can use your Q every 25 seconds. There's one game last night where I ended up using this ability, I think 4 or 5 times at the beginning of the game, when we were fighting 2 or 3 different teams.
No shield and lifeline.
Small crypto change, he can now ping banners while on the drone to warn teammates about the nearby squads. If you do not know, using Crypto's drone, you can actually look at the champion banner and it'll tell you how many squads are within that drone radius. The lifeline bin ratio got increased to 20%, and they removed knockdown shields from the secret compartment of the lifeline bin loot. I still don't think this is enough of a buff for lifeline. I think she needs possibly a whole rework to her ultimate ability. Octane's launch pad cooldown is reduced from 90 seconds to 60 seconds, so he's getting his launch pad a little bit more. Actually added it in the patch notes, so this is a first step in pushing more team utility for Octane. We have more updates planned, but they did not make the cut for this patch. So expect some more changes coming to Octane. Seems to be fairly soon. And Gibraltar got a small nerf. His dome shield duration got reduced from 18 seconds to 12 seconds. In the dev note, they added that Gibraltar in a one-on-one fight is in a good place, but they think he's still overpowered when it comes to team fights. So reducing his dome shield is actually a pretty big change. And by 6 seconds, that's it's pretty significant. Pathfinder probably got hit the hardest with the nerf here. Pathfinder's grapple hook got increased from a 15-second cooldown to a 35-second cooldown. That is crazy. So now, before you used to be able to get off 2 grapple hooks in 30 seconds, now you can only get 1 off. So for the massive character changes, we're gonna start with Mirage. I don't want to say Mirage got a rework, but he got massively altered. It still fits his character model very well. They added to his passive ability. While a teammate is down and you are rezzing your teammate as Mirage, you, as well as a teammate that is down, become cloaked, which is pretty cool. The enemy cannot see them. They can still hear it though. In addition to that, when rezzing from the beacon, you as well as your teammate also become cloaked or invisible. His tactical ability got a little bit of a change. You can now actually control the Mirage Decoy. So after you send up the decoy, you can press the corresponding keybind one more time, and then that Mirage Decoy will actually mimic what you are doing as your character. So if you're jumping, your decoy is going to jump. If you're running to the left, your decoy is going to run to the left. Really cool idea. I think it kind of gives them a little bit more realism and can kind of throw off the enemy or make the enemy double take for just another second. And his ultimate is actually now what the Dummy's Big Day used to be with the emergency dance party, if you remember back in season 3. Essentially, a bunch of Mirage decoys will scatter from you, but now they also mimic what you are doing. Running left, running right, jumping, doing all that sort of stuff. So when a Mirage ults, they are everywhere. And Mirage gets his ult really fast. So I don't think Mirage is going to be a super useful in comp in high ranks, but he'll be very fun to play with in pubs.
Yeah. They're on it. They're on it.
Now the biggest change, and I think the most impactful change in this, probably in this entire patch, is the changes they made to Caustic.
I'm coming.
Caustic's gas no longer slows your teammates. Now this is a huge update. I love playing Caustic. I think he's one of my more favorite legends to play. And now I don't have to hear about my teammates being mad at me for my gas being all over the place and slowing them down too. You can really start pushing through gas, slowing down enemies while your teammates are just flying right through it. I could see this being really huge with a Caustic comp and then having your teammates with digital threats. This change to Caustic is massive. And the other change to Caustic that happened is his traps no longer trigger from the other side of the door. I mean, that makes sense. If you're not directly in front of it and there's a barrier between you and the trap, it shouldn't go off. So it's a good change.
It's so nice to be able to walk through Caustic gas now. 28 red. Docked.
Along with legend changes, the weapon loot has been drastically updated as well. The 5 gold weapons for Season 5 are the Longbow, the Hemlock, Spitfire, Eva 8, and the RE45. I like how they switch out the gold weapons. It keeps it fun, it keeps it interesting each and every season. One of the biggest changes to the loot pool is the Mastiff and Peacekeeper switch. So the Mastiff is now floor loot and the Peacekeeper is now care package loot. It is now a gold gun. It's similar to what happened with the L-Star and the Devotion last season. The Peacekeeper obviously got buffed because now it is a gold weapon, and the Mastiff getting nerfed, having it being regular floor loot. I used the Mastiff quite a bit yesterday. I can see it being a very viable shotgun as long as you can handle your gun flying off your screen every time you shoot. One thing I would like to see them change is the way the Mastiff projectiles look. It literally looks like they're firing bottle rockets off at you. You can't see a thing when there's one being shot at you. They also are super loud.
Oh my god, hearing this massive crap is bullshit.
It is really loud.
Now, the Peacekeeper being gold, I only got to use it actually one time last night. It's the only time I saw it ever in about 5 hours of playing.
Let's go!
But having that be inside of care packages is going to be an automatic pickup every time, just like the Devotion is.
22.
One's cracked.
Oh god. Thank you.
Other changes that went on, the alternator mag sizes got increased at every level from base level 1, level 2, level 3. The RE45 got a damage buff from 11 to 12, and it got a reduced reload speed. I was always kind of between if I should be using the alternator or the RE45, and I used them both again last night. I think the alternator is better at a medium range, but the RE45 up close, it deals some damage now. Do you guys prefer the alternator or the RE45 when you're still trying to find your 99 or your 301? Let me know in the comments below.
The RE45 is kind of good.
Havoc's vertical recoil got increased, as well as the horizontal recoil got slightly increased. I was using the Havoc a fair amount on the first day, and I don't really notice much of a difference in the recoil. This gun is still insanely broken. It just melts people left and right. If they want to increase recoil, they're going to have to make this thing spray all over the place because it just melts, and people are so good with the recoil control. I, to be honest, could barely notice a difference, if at all, to the recoil.
Busted over here. 70 HP in this box.
The longbow and wingman headshot got reduced, but that is because they re-added the skull piercer hop-up back in for the wingman and the longbow. I think you're going to start seeing even more players start to run the wingman, especially with the Peacekeeper not being in. The wingman is such a good weapon, and now with the skull piercer being back, having just a better headshot is pretty insane. The other hop-up changes, they vaulted the anvil receiver. Although I'll miss the anvil receiver, I kind of understand the purpose of vaulting it. They don't want the loot pool to be too littered with hop-ups that you're running around finding all these hop-ups that are useless to you. I do think the anvil receiver was kind of slept on and overlooked. It was a very good hop-up, but I understand the point of moving on past it. We could definitely end up seeing this integrated back into the loot pool in later seasons. Another really big nerf happened to the gold armor. Gold armor is no longer a fast heal. Instead, when you take a cell or a syringe, it will double the use of that cell or syringe. So taking one cell will actually fill up 2 spaces of your armor. It's a pretty big nerf considering how fast you could take batteries and med kits and phoenix kits. We'll see how it kind of plays out with balancing changes, but I think more people are going to start going with red evos now over the gold armors. There's also a boatload of bug fixes that happen. I'm not going to cover them all because a lot of them I actually didn't even know were even bugs. Like the Prowler's not attacking Gibby's dome shield. I don't know there's a thing. Thank you guys so much for stopping in and checking it out. Let me know what you think of Season 5. What are the things you like the most? What do you like the least? What kind of changes do you want to see in the near future? I'm going to leave a link to the patch notes down below. And if you like what's going on in the background, I stream on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes even Fridays now. It's twitch.tv/ChanceC. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.